Welcome to Exploring with D-Rob. Let's go. Good morning. Welcome back. Somewhere beside Red River Gorge today. Still in Daniel Boone National Forest though. Come down to Laurel County today. I'm going to go check out Vanhook Falls. Might be able to hear the wind in the video. Not real sure. It's rather windy right now. Just got done raining maybe an hour ago or less. Hoping for some decent flow down here today. Not sure how photogenic things will be today. Not knowing about flow and after the front passes through, it's supposed to be sunny, so maybe we'll get lucky and come away with some decent images today. Before we get too far into the hike, I guess I can give some directions on how to get here. From I-75, take exit 38 at London. Want to turn onto Kentucky 192 West. Follow 192 for roughly 10 to 12 miles until you come to where the road kind of makes a split. You can go left or right. Kentucky 192 continues to the right. Kentucky 1193 heads left towards Holly Bay, Laurel Lake. At that intersection, there's you'll see a sign on the left. It says Sheltowee Trace. There's a parking area there. That's where you want to park at. It's a Vanhook Falls trailhead. Well-worn and heavily trafficked trail. This is the Sheltowee Trace out through here, so really easy trail to follow. Nothing too crazy in this trail like some of the ones we encounter in Red River Gorge. At a little over 6/10 of a mile in, come to our first stream crossing. This is an unnamed branch that feeds into Pounder Branch. This is usually your sign of how flow is going to be, and it looks pretty good today, so I'm pretty confident that Vanhook will look really good, and some of the other off-trail waterfalls down through here we may check out, and I feel like they might look good as well. As you can see, there's rocks, makes for an easy cross in here. Don't have to worry about getting your feet wet. Anytime you do a waterfall hike though, I highly recommend waterproof shoes or boots. Sealskins never hurt. That's what I'm wearing today, along with my Hoka Speed Goat Evos. I think we're gonna have a good day. Let's go. At 3/4 of a mile in, just off trail to the left, we come to our first waterfall. This first falls on the branch of Pounder. As you'll notice as we come to some of these off-trail falls, the day that they were named, whoever it was not very into being creative. They're all numbered. I think I'll start at Vanhook, so I'll bypass all these smaller falls first, get on out to Vanhook, maybe get lucky and beat the sun there. But I will stop and photograph all the smaller falls on the way back. As I suspected, figured I might get to see some of my little orange buddies today. Right at a mile in, we reach our second water crossing. This one here is more of a rock hop. There's several rocks here you can navigate across if you have waterproof shoes, or your shoes with sealskins though. Water will be no issue. At 1.2 miles, we meet our next water crossing. Again, this one here has the nice big rocks to walk across. This one here's a little sideways, but still easy to cross here. Getting close to where Pounder Branch meets this small drainage we've been following. Once those two waterways meet, start to get into more water features. About 100 yards or so after the last water crossing, we're coming to another one. This one here again, got a nice and easy rock hop. These actually are close enough together that there's not really a hop. You can just walk straight across those. As I mentioned, once that front passed on through, it's going to be sunny the rest of the day. The sun's already come out to see us. Looks like the sun ain't the only thing came out to see us. Here's another one of my little orange buddies. At just under a mile and a half, you'll begin to hear the sound of falling water once again. If you look down to the right, you'll see a opening just past a rock shelter. We'll come just past that to get down to access this falls. Inside of the trail, but there is a little user trail here. Makes it easy to get down to this falls. Highly trafficked. Nice little pool in front of it. This one's often visited in the summertime and used as a swimming hole. And looks like we've had somebody making campfires here. Literally right off the trail. This is still Daniel Boone National Forest. That's an illegal campfire. Anyway, walk on over here. This is the first falls on Pounder Branch. I wasn't going to photograph any of these on the way in, but since the sun's already trying to show itself, I think I'll get the camera out real quick, see if I can get a few shots of this one. I'm guessing all these bubbles and foam and stuff floating around in the pool here is probably from where there had been little to no water on this falls here recently. But the upside for me is I can do a long exposure, come away with some swirl shots. Here's what I got. Pretty happy with the images I came away with here. Also glad I made the stop and decided to go ahead and shoot it now while the sun wasn't on it. But I got a few images. Make our way on down the trail. Now that we've got to where we're following along, the trail follows along Pounder Branch. Got a lot more water features coming. This is where the hike starts getting really good. About 2/10 of a mile past the first falls on Pounder Branch. You'll hear more falling water, and you can look down to the right at the branch. This is the second falls on Pounder Branch. Nice little cascading falls. May stop by there on the way back. As I mentioned, I'm gonna head on out towards Vanhook first. Most of this hike down through here, you can hear cascading water and what have you as we follow Pounder Branch. The next water feature we come to is fed by this drainage that comes in from the left. You have to cross here. Not flowing super heavy today, but there is a little water coming down through here. It's easy to work your way across. That feeder feeds the next falls you can see just off trail to the right. This is Lava Falls. Just out of sight to the left here is the third falls on Pounder Branch. I think it looks like visiting later on the way back out. If for some reason I don't come away with decent images of these falls today, I'll pop up some images from the first hike of this year when there was really good flow. At a little under 2 miles, you'll see a little path cut off to the right here, and you'll hear falling water. You come over to the cliff edge here. Don't get too close because it is a pretty good drop off once you get on over there. But this gives you a good look over at Pounder Gorge Falls. Looks like it's got pretty decent flow on it. Hopefully we can get some images of that one later. After the little overlook to Pounder Gorge Falls there, the trail kind of goes away from the water for a little bit. As you come back through here, less than a quarter mile I'd say past Pounder Gorge Falls, come to a little drainage. Once that drainage is in sight, if you look up to the cliff line to your left, you'll spot an arch. This is Pounder Arch. At a little over 2 miles, come to the next item of interest here, right along the trail. A little shallow cave rock shelter here to the left. Pretty neat little spot. Pretty cool little bonus feature. Just noticed this as I was coming back out. Campfire, rock shelter. No good. Don't be this person. Do better, folks. As you come around through some mountain laurel and holly, you come to this little junction here. This is actually a user trail, even though it looks almost as good as the regular trail. See this little sign here indicating that the Sheltowee Trace goes to the right. This is the way you want to take. I think there may be a campsite up that other way to the left there. But to get to Vanhook Falls, you want to make this right and stay on the Sheltowee Trace. Trail works its way downhill some. Get through this little narrow section here with more mountain laurel and holly, a little underbrush. As you may be able to hear, sound of water is getting louder. We're coming down on Cane Creek. Pounder Branch also feeds into Cane Creek once we get on down here. As you come down this section, it can be a little slick and muddy. A little water runoff down through here. And once we get to this little section here, looks like there is still a rope. Makes it a little easier here. If you use a rope out like this, always check it before you put your weight on it. Make sure it's not dry rotted or anything. Work your way down this rock. And continue on down here towards Cane Creek. That little section of the trail there is really the only place that you have to do any kind of scramble or anything. As we come on down, come around to a little footbridge. This is where we cross over Pounder Branch. And as you look down, a nice little slide falls cascading into Cane Creek. It stormed some last night. Was in the low to mid 60s most of the night. It's getting close to 10 a.m. now, and the temperature is supposed to drop after the front came through. Should be in the mid 40s now. I was actually hoping that would create a little fog, but no luck so far. As you come down out of the Rodo and Mountain Lawn, right next to Cane Creek here, if you look straight across, you'll see a feeder stream coming in there. That's Vanhook Branch. That's where we'll be heading up to see Vanhook Falls. Come on over to the right here. See the sun shining in. Got a nice little cascading falls here along Cane Creek. May take an image of this later on the way back out. Looks pretty good today. But we're going to work our way up here. Across Cane Creek, across this little footbridge, on up towards Vanhook Falls. Once you get across the little footbridge, start working your way up Vanhook Branch here. There will be a few rooty sections like this one here. A lot of exposed roots. Just take your time, it's really easy to get through. And sometimes this section of the trail can be a little muddy, but it don't look like it's too bad so far. Trail falls along the cliff line back through here, pretty much all the way to Vanhook Falls. After just a couple tenths of a mile, you'll work your way up. See a little set of stairs. Come up across this little landing. Find a little bench here. Sheltowee Trace continues on up the stairs. This is as far as we'll be going today. Look over, you see the Vanhook Falls sign. And then if you look down to your left, Vanhook Falls. Flow is looking really nice today. But unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, the sun has met us here. So it's going to make this real contrasty trying to shoot it. Got these bright areas. Got a little sun hitting the falls here. But we'll go ahead and shoot it and see what I can come away with. A little over 2.5 miles from parking here to the falls. So an out and back at Vanhook Falls would put you roughly 5.25 miles. If you come to visit Vanhook Falls, once you get here to the falls, just be careful. This over to the left from just below the little bench, there is a pretty significant drop off there. There's also a little trail that skirts around to the right here and follows along under the rock shelter around behind the falls. This is also really narrow right through here with a pretty good drop off. Just be aware of your footing and be careful as you work your way around this cliff edge. Take your time while you're here. Enjoy the falls though. Vanhook Falls. Came around behind the falls here. As you can see, clear blue sky with sun shining. Very contrasty. Hit and miss, sunshine beaming in. But here's what I got on the back of the camera. If this shot turned out any good, here's the shot. One last look at Vanhook Falls before we make our way back towards the trailhead. Nice flow today. Finally glad we're getting into waterfall season. Work your way back across the little platform there, down the stairs. Just gonna take the trail back out the way we came, make it out and back. Depending on how the light is, whenever I get back to the off-trail falls, I'll decide whether I'm actually gonna bushwhack down to them or not, as they're off-trail. If the light ain't good, it wouldn't be worth visiting. If all else fails, I'll pop up some old images and tell you how to find the coordinates to get to those falls. As you can see, the sun is hitting in really harsh here now. Guess I should have shot this on the way up through there, but oh well. Here's a nice look at this cascade along Cane Creek. Made it back around here to Lava Falls. And as you can see, the sun is getting really bright down in the gorge here. I think I'm going to skip going to the off-trail falls for today. I will leave some information about those falls, and I'll pop up a few pics of the falls from back first day of the year. But from here, I'm going to follow the Sheltowee Trace, head on back out to the parking area. Here's a look at one of the small cascading falls just off the trail along Pounder Branch. As you can see, even up here, a lot of dappled light. A lot of neat little water features down along Pounder Branch though. Here's a closer look at the falls that I mentioned on the way in. This is the second falls on Pounder Branch. Flow looks pretty nice on this, and even though it's dappled light, it's going to be super contrasty. Since I'm already here, I may go down there and try to get an image. Got some more bubbles coming off of this falls. Shooting along exposure. Not sure that we'll get any swirls or anything good really, as contrasty as this is. Sun's getting pretty harsh. But if I come away with a decent shot, here's the shot. Back at the first little falls we came to earlier. Sun's not hitting in here on this one like it was the others, so I think I'm gonna get the camera out and get a few quick shots of this falls. Generally, whenever there's good flow, this falls here will be just a little bit wider, and there will be little falls here on this side drainage as well. As you can see today, there's just a little drip here, so we definitely don't have full flow. But this little falls is looking good. Got decent flow on it. Get a few shots in. If any of them turn out, here's the shot. Definitely been a good day for long exposure photography. All these bubbles and stuff's made for some more swirls at this falls. Pretty happy with how this one turned out. Roughly half a mile from the trailhead. I'm gonna go ahead and sign the video off here. Had a good little waterfall adventure today. Flow was good. While the other conditions weren't necessarily good for photography, still a good little hike. Vanhook Falls is probably one of the top 5 hikes in the state, in my opinion anyway. Get a lot of water features along the way. Plus you got Vanhook Falls at the end. Hope you enjoyed today's adventure. If you would, be sure to give me that like. If you enjoy my videos, consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.